Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Welcome to the second part of our lecture on Quran and Sunnah, food mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah. And today we're with Brother Nadeem, inshallah, who's going to give us the talk. Brother Nadeem is a professional nutritionist by career, and he comes from a family of scientists, where his families are doctors or scientists themselves, and his father's also Hafiz Quran. So, alhamdulillah, I'm going to pass you over to Nadeem Batt to continue the talk. This is the second lecture, part 2. Over to you, Brother Nadeem.
Thank you. We start, and because it's in English, and for those English listeners out there, whoever hopefully is being videotaped by so many unique people here. There's so many talented people in this. There's so many talented people here tonight, and everyone is unique. You know, this is the beauty when the Holy Quran talks about this, and the great scriptures beforehand, the Bible, the Torah, the Injil, the Zabur. These are all commonalities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates us unique, and we have to be thankful always to Allah and our parents. Where do we come from? And some people don't have parents. So, you know, that's why we have to have that, show that extra compassion to people who don't have parents. They don't have, the most important thing is that relationship from the parents and that love and rearing and raising, yeah? So, at times people don't have parents, and and there's disabilities and there's loneliness. That's when the family of man, Bani Adam, isn't it beautiful? And, you know, I always remember many scholars say the Quran talks about being Adamic. It's a beautiful word. We are Adamic, and in our nature, the whole family of mankind, Bani Adam, you know. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says so many times in the Quran, that Holy Quran, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, that have made so many nations, so many different races and languages, so that you don't fight with one another, but you recognize one another. And that's why in Islam it's the only religion and way of life, not just a religion, because religion in Arabic is millat. This is Deen al-Fitra, the beautiful word, the natural way. So the natural cures. So it's very important. Allah encourages intermarriage. And if you look in the world, I've travelled the world with different religions, they have black churches, a black Christian church, or you can only have a church where it's just a synagogue of white people. Yeah? But when I've travelled the world and other people have come into Islam, interested and curious, we go into this masjid and it's full of different races. You know, we put our face, who puts their face to the ground? We smite our faces to the Supreme. We don't bow at each other. But many times you go in, I've gone into Africa and you've got white people leading the prayer, Caucasian, European, or a Bosnian, or people of all nationality leading the prayer, and it's a masjid full of black people. Black Afro-Caribbean, Arabic Habshi. And then I've gone into Habshi masjids and you get an Indian or a Pakistani leading, and he's their teacher. I met Philippines once. I sat in the Philippines, broken, very poor masjid in Philippines, Manila. And he said, I said, where did you learn Arabic and Urdu? Because he's speaking Arabic and Philippines and Urdu and English, 4 languages. And he laughed and said, I speak Urdu, I learned my Islam. And all the Imams go every year to Pakistan, Islamic University, to learn Islam. And I met Chinese and Oriental, they all go to Pakistan to learn Islam. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? It's not always Makkah, Medina. This is the beauty of this religion, this intermarrying, this interfaith. This Allah loves humbleness. Yeah? So our knowledge comes from Him if we remain humble. And Allah's Prophet in the Quran says, remain humble like the Anbiya. They're always humble. Allah gives you more. Be thankful. And health. So it's not easy to recap, but a few minutes on last week as a reminder. We went through the Holy Quran, and we mentioned the beautiful verses of the Holy Quran, and it's very nice to mention them again. And we talked, there was a doctor's article, a very high level doctor of diet, American, and I was reading that, if you remember, last Sunday, and he explained that yes, this is not talking about the physical side of the faith, where it's Iman, the movements of Salah, which are all good for you, health. And we were talking about, the Quran talks about the nature of man. He explains it better. Who better than the creator of Allah, who says, I created you, kun fayakun, and you know, be and it is. And we are created from, the Quran then tells us water. Interesting, isn't it? And now all that comes later, years later, 1,400 years, and years later they discovered they didn't have any knowledge when the Prophet ﷺ comes about 570 AD after Isa alayhi salam. Those prime prophets came. Isa alayhi salam, another miracle of from Ali Imran, the family of Ali Imran, it's a very special family. And then Muhammad ﷺ comes, and there's no way that it's the environment that makes an individual. There's no way, there was no lens, no telescope to look at the cosmos and stars and name them. And there was no microscope to know how a child, from the Quran says, it is born, a sperm, egg, fertilization, and the Holy Quran mentions these beautiful words, alaq, the clot, the congealed clot of blood. So the first verse says, Ikra. And isn't it interesting? It doesn't say read. Reading, the scholars and the Prophet told us, is passive. Reading and listening, is passive. Listening is passive. It's easier to listen, but it's better if you're reading, because you're listening and looking and you're reading and absorbing. So the first verse is after 23 years, the angel comes. Muhammad thinks he's gone mad, and he's Alameen, and he's got this great reputation. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so wise, He waits till he's 40, mature, very mature age for a human being. Waits till he's 40, extra wise, who's so great and chosen anyway. And he says, you're a prophet. Read in the name of thy Lord, who created you from a drop of congealed blood. That then mentioned in the later verse of the Quran is fascinating. I really want you to, I try to express the best of my abilities, may Allah keep me humble, is that it says in the Arabic term that it's a chewed up clump, chewed up shape of a chewed up meat. Chewed up meat. And we all have a chewed up meat, and it's called mastication, that we're eating. It's an act of we have to eat to digest the food. That chewed up clump has now been proven by the world's best and most powerful recent genealogists and scientists and embryologist studies, that it is, when they're studying, they got the cameras in, the miracle of life. That was only recent, about 30 years ago, 40 years, was recent. They studied, they went in with cameras, very clever cameras, very internal cameras, to see the birth of a child when a woman's pregnant. In Arabic, hamala. Fascinating. And it is exactly the way the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I created you. Don't go around arrogant. I created you from nothing. And you were nothing and weak, a weakness, and you came into the earth weak. And you were lying on it. Can't do much. Can't even remember, can we, when we were all born? So king, rich, pauper, leader of the earth, leader of this, leader of that, this power, that power, they all came from a man and a woman, and a womb of a mother you have to respect. The womb, which the Quran talks about in great details, levels of the womb. It's amazing. Create from water. That water is known as amniotic fluid. Interesting, isn't it? Amniotic fluid. So fascinating that the Quran is so accurate in the way we were nothing. We were nothing once we pin drop. And yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, show humbleness, show that and realize that you are weak and nothing without Allah. And never go around walking arrogantly. It's fascinating. So back to the Quranic foods, the doctor mentioned that just as a very good invention, one of the most successful inventions is a motor car. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't give us the brain, there'd be no motor car. There wouldn't even be a bicycle. And when the bicycles first came, I really studied this because I'm fascinated by museums, and we all are. And so when the bicycle came, they said that's not, no one's gonna go on that bicycle, because it was a penny farthing or something, or there was a funny name for a bicycle. It's a big wheel and a small wheel. I just watched a video yesterday, and I was of Bradford, and someone's taken it 18th century, and there's bikes and horse and cattle, wool exchange capital, and there's bicycles, and nobody could really afford even a bicycle in those days. Look how we've progressed. Motorcycle came, the car, and look at the car. The doctor says, look at the car, doesn't it need maintenance? The radiator, based on water, digestion, exhaust fumes, intake, fuel, consumption, eating, power, because they call food fuel. Isn't it fascinating? And then I can go into another lecture about how can we fly. It's called the enigma of flying. I've sat with air pilots, I've sat with pilots like aeronautical engineers, and they said it doesn't make sense to us. And the pilots says, how does this heavy, it's very heavy iron bird of aluminium, they say aluminium is strong and light, how does it fly It's all by the will of Allah. How can it fly? It's an enigma. Enigma is a mystery. Allah has all these beautiful names, but He's also mysterious. It's powerful. So the Quran mentions the foods of paradise, and this is how beautiful it is. This is quranfood.com, written by an ex-pharmacist who nearly died. His story is detailed, and I'll go into a few minutes, 1 minute of it. He nearly died of side effects of drugs, and he said, no more drugs for me. And he left, and thousands of people left pharmaceuticals, which is a chemical pharmaceuticals, and they're very, very wealthy. And the drugs all have side effects. They can't sell a drug without the newspaper inside. You open it up and read it, and it's side effects. Don't take it, or they have to get it right. And we do dish doctors. I've got a doctor in my family, 2 doctors, very intelligent, MBCHB, 5-6 years degree. It's hard work. They study pharmacology, disease, psychology, and they study drugs. They have to study pharmaceutical biochemistry, which I studied for a couple of years as well. It's fascinating. Biochemistry is very advanced. It's advanced, 34 years advanced more than medicine. So biochemistry, biology and chemistry combined. But we're only going by what Allah's created. He's the author, He's the creator. So let's go back to what the book says. So he's saying that the 4 tenants and all the nutritionists who are also, they said there's a very well-known saying, if the doctors don't learn nutrition, because they only have one lesson of multivitamins, vitamins and herbalism, they study what they have to study, which is conventional medicine. But the ancient medicine was Avicenna, Ibn Sina. It's called Avicenna, Ibn Sina, and Al-Razi. These were people, Arabs, who were Quranic, very practicing, very honest, and Allah gave them so much knowledge. And they are the founders, because they translated the Greek before the Arabs came, the Greek and Chinese. All these other nations have come, and we don't disrespect that. And they had limited knowledge. But when Al-Razi and the Arab Muslims came, it's called Arab Science Renaissance, the golden years of Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ says that when the Quran clearly says that you are the greatest people, you invite to good and forbid wrong. Yeah? And the Sahabas loved the Prophet because he was the final. And the people used to come inquisitive, Christians, people with no religion, they used to look at him and see him. They'd heard all these fake stories, but when they sat with him and they realized, and the knowledge, prophets have knowledge, and they saw his character, and then it's in their scriptures, yeah. Bohira the monk, the Jews saw it in the scriptures, that this is the man, there will be miracles, there will be love around him, he'll have so much knowledge, he'll come and he'll be unlettered. Where will he get this poetry from? How can he come out of the cave blazing with poetry? Because poetry is a big thing. In those days, education and poetry was the best occupation. So this fascinating Quran mentions, the Holy Quran in the word of Allah, it mentions that the pharmacist said that he wanted to go organic. So he set up an organic farm, and he's got a website, quranfood.com, and he's just gone through each Quran food, which is on those beautiful pictures over there. You're welcome to take a camera angle on those pictures. Quran and Sunnah that John Zeb has very, very diligently printed beautifully. And those are the main fruits and that are mentioned in the Holy Quran. And this is what this brother has set up. He's near death. He set up a farm. He lives in Texas. So Americans, Muslims are everywhere. And he has a farm. And he goes, I want to supply Quran foods. I want people to try Quran foods as a prescription. And don't do the side effects of the prescription. Don't go through dangerous side effects. He doesn't want to go. And there's now doctors, whistleblowers, written books. A very powerful book called Medical Mafia. And this doctor, she's a female doctor, they've taken her license away. She told the truth. She goes, what have I said in the book? I only told the truth, but there's too many side effects. And then there's Google, so many doctors now who, Dr. Atherton, who's aloe vera forever living down south, King's College, highly level author of aloe vera books and herbalism. He left medicine and went herbalism. And the better results, they healed themselves, they're healing others. The Quran and the scriptures, including the Bible, talks about the water and the bitter herbs, and there's so many things in the Bible which we know are correct, but the criteria is the final revelation. We don't believe in it, the Injil is lost, but the Bible still has beautiful verses of truth. You know these are from Allah. Are you with me? It's interesting. So the Holy Quran says, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. The Holy Quran is the final testament, we believe, and is a miracle in itself, and that's another lecture. We can't do justice to the Quran. It's no ordinary book, which mentions that the foods of paradise are dates, olives, pomegranates, grapes, figs, banana, milk, honey and ginger, We should include them in our daily lives and live a disease-free life with no side effects. That's his introduction. But there is another verse when I was reading Surah Rahman, and it's good to read. I suffered a bit of anxiety for the last 24 months. I had a difficult time post-COVID, and I battled with it for my life. And the anxiety syndrome, I've read and I've gone into doctors and the NHS, it's all backlog, queues of people, no one to really help. So I've turned to other people, lovely people like Janzeb, Sajid, Zakir, Hafiz, I don't know everyone else's name. People are there, they've gone through anxiety. We share a phone call, just a phone call, a couple of minutes, and someone there for each other, just a listening. Because we're living in a time that's going too fast. And the Prophet said there'll be a time that'll go too fast. And people will be selfish and selfie society, and that is not the way. The way is to khidmat, to serve. When you serve, your anxiety goes. I've noticed that my anxiety goes when I do something, and do something for somebody else, another anxiety person. So it's fascinating. So what's happened is the other Surah Rahman says that it's fascinating. The trees are also praying, and some are bowing, and Allah knows they're praying to Allah. Fascinating that the Quran mentions date, palm trees, and coconut. That's another very powerful antioxidant. In other words, it stops aging process. Very powerful healing coconut, which I eat every day. I've been eating every day for the last 15 years. Just pure coconut, nice. It's difficult to cut, so you buy the pure coconut, virgin coconut, organic. They call my nickname has become Mr. Organic. I don't mind it, it's not insulting. They call me Nadeem, Mr. Organic. And I kind of started to like it. You understand? It's not insulting, because I like to practice what I preach. So I have a coconut, a tablespoon every day in the morning. It's a good time for the morning, and it calms anxiety, and it's known as break. It's been proven to so many things. We'll go through each individual stuff in the course. Today I want to talk about water, but the coconut is mentioned, and then the water is Zamzam. But then also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the water cycle. When no one knew about it, 1,400 years ago, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He produces the same water. And isn't it amazing? The same type of water is always in balance. So there's a whole science of ecosystem, ecology. And it's fascinating when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that that with His command. Now when you're going in a plane, and when we were kids, it looks like candy floss and ice cream. Doesn't it? And we're all fascinated by it. But then we're in the plane and you just all clouds, it's like fog. But you're actually going through clouds. And do you know that you've got this sound, and then the captain and the co-pilot, because I've got friends who are pilots and co-pilots, they go, sorry, turbulence, seatbelts on again. Nobody can go to the toilet. Excuse me, and they're very polite, please, no more. And just tell all students, no toilet, no one to go around to walk, because we're hitting turbulence. And you can hear it, and it sounds like there's ice scraping, and there's some concrete is scraping on your plane. This is what's happening. You're going through clouds. It's fascinating. And yet you'll go like, it's at speed, and it's freezing. The moment a window opens, you're dead. Or someone goes out, because it's a vacuum plane. Did you know there's no oxygen? You'll never have a plane journey again after you've spoke to me. You'll be doing Ayatul Kursi, you remember Allah, and people are drinking and watching movies and in a world of waste of time. Always do your prayers extra. There's more swab, because you're near death. The plane's not supposed to fly. You're not supposed to be up there. Allah created you for the earth. Ard, Fatiras Samawati wal Ard. We're not supposed to be up there. I'm telling you. And the moment nothing lives up there, you're thousands of feet, kilometers in the air. And the moment but it's very clever. The knowledge, they've got oxygen. Your oxygen's fake. It's not real fake. Oxygen. If the oxygen runs out, where are you going to go? So that brings it back to Surah Rahman. The trees Allah created. If there was no trees, we'd all be dead. There'd be no Bani Adam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything, and when we were made for heaven and Jannah, then the test starts on earth. The trees and forests and green grass, it's all part of your healing. Trees is fascinating. In the daytime produce oxygen. They produce oxygen. They are submitted to Allah to produce oxygen. For who? For Janzeh, for Nadeem, for Adam and Hawa alayhi salam. They were the first. We all started on farms. And it's interesting, if they don't produce oxygen, we'd be dead. Because you can't live with CO2. It's a poison. We need to exhale and inhale oxygen. That's the nizam, that's the fitra. So reactions are taking place. And isn't it amazing? The trees need CO2. So Hewanat, the animal kingdom too, the mammals, CO2, they breathe out, they need to breathe oxygen. So CO2 goes from the human beings, billions and billions, back into the trees. That's why then it says, and it keeps repeating. And I've got a fantastic Hafiz al-Quran who switched on, and he recites to me sometimes for some years now on the phone his voice, the gift Allah has given him his voice, but he's practiced the Hafiz al-Quran, he's practicing. So that's a message to Hafiz al-Qurans out there. When you've learned the Quran, you've got to keep at it, practice it, keep the brain oiled, don't forget it. So it's fascinating. Which of the ni'mats and benefits are you going to do? We can't thank him enough. No wonder it has a calming effect, all the Holy Quran and the therapy, the mind, the sound, the voice, the vibrations, we're all vibrations. So what happens is that it says that this man says, I have written a book, Food of Paradise. And he says, according to the Holy Quran, paradise is where the righteous and the good people will go after death. And it is a garden, never-ending garden. That the Prophet said, no eyes have seen except the Prophet and the Prophets. And he goes, you never want to return to earth. No eyes have seen, yet there's a hellfire. And it is so frightening. And the Prophet said he didn't want anyone to go to hellfire. Because he's a mercy to mankind. It's very powerful. And that's why when you read in the Holy Quran, and it's the Prophet, and Allah says, oh Prophet, don't kill yourself. Because you're thinking about converting. Every day you're going out trying to convert someone and save them. Because Allah says He decides whose heart and who's for real. So Allah is the turner of hearts. But look at the love of the Prophet. He's not just an Arab, no chance. He's truly mercy to mankind and the animal kingdom and the heavens and the earth. It goes on forever. It's fascinating. So it says here, more precisely, it is according to our Holy Quran where the righteous go, more precisely, it is a garden of bliss, having many varieties of trees, 2 springs flowing fruit and every type of fruit. Note the picture, yeah, beautiful photo of colour fruits. The fruits will be hanging low within easy reach. Those in paradise, Jannah, heaven will recline on couches above carpets, the linings of which will be thick brocade. The couches will be enwrought with gold and jewels, and on couches will be waiting ageless people, ageless, beautiful, goblets, people of another entity, yeah? And it also says cups filled with flowing springs, water, and neither causing a headache, no intoxication, no disease. Yeah, they will be to enjoy. These people of heaven will enjoy their life day and night with such fruits as they choose, and for companions they will have maidens. And it continues with, and there's also pearls and everything that you desire. But you can have other things. It's fascinating. I sometimes talk to children and I teach children. I raise my nephews and nieces, and I said, you know, we watch a cartoon and we stuck them in that cartoon. Cartoons are fascinating. We used to watch Tom and Jerry, and sometimes people want to be cartoon. I'm saying that when I said to my nephews and nieces when they were young and they were reading the Mars and so on being good, they've grown up now, but they still say, when we go to dinner, what can I be a cartoon? I said, Allah can do anything. You can go into a cartoon world for as long as you like. I know Allah can do anything. Allah can smile, Allah can do anything. If He created the dinosaurs, Jurassic, Cretaceous, and you watch these fascinating films with animation and CGI, it's a trick. How did we look at the mercy of Allah? He created the dinosaurs, sent them, they became our fossil fuel and fuel. He killed them off because they were too dangerous. Man, Adam and Eve, and dinosaurs don't mix. Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating, those dinosaurs. So He created the Jurassic and the monstrous dinosaurs, and man could not exist. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends an ice age. He sends an ice age to the earth. Fascinating, isn't it? How many millions of years they say it's millions of years back. Fascinating. So we were just having a recap for the brothers who came there. We were having a recap of the Quran foods. The man was a pharmaceutical, and he died of side effects, and he runs a farm, Quran foods, and his prescription is Quran foods only. Yeah. Now the water presentation is very, very important, because what we're studying is that they've studied recently that the water and the nutritionist, the herbalist, this is a very powerful saying that's come worldwide in the last 25 to 30 years. They said if the doctors don't become the nutritionists of today, then the nutritionists will become the doctors of tomorrow. This happened 30 years ago. And I'm a humble nutritionist. I've sat with very senior, highly qualified professors of nutrition, and I said that you've got to learn nutrition. Medicine is not enough because there's too many side effects. But in nutrition, it's wholesome. We can't live without food, fuel, water. So isn't it fascinating that the doctors who are most successful, it's rare, the GPs don't know much about nutrition. We should share knowledge, come around the table and share knowledge. That's what hikmat means in Hakim, herbal. In the past of history, in the Prophet's times, and also shamans and all types of doctors of all cultures, did you know that the word disease is 2 words? Dis-ease. You're not at ease. You're out of balance. You're messed up. There's poisons in you, toxins in you. Dis-ease is 2 words. Words are very important. You know, the Quran tells you words have a good effect, good and bad, and you have to study disease. So when a doctor used to come to you and your house or family and treat a man, woman, child, he did not take any money. This is a reality of the ancient world medicine. He made sure that he diagnosed you, and they say diagnosis is half of cure. It's a beautiful word. It's a beautiful thought, and it's the Quran and the way of the Prophet. If you can diagnose something, if you don't know what's wrong with you or someone, where are you going to start? And it's mystery. Sometimes people just, symptoms, you just don't know what it is. Is it a cold? Is it a flu? Is it the bladder? Is it the stomach? Is it the kidneys? Is it the brain or the heart? So diagnosis is half a cure. So that's why Hakim and the knowledge of all the prophets is hikmat. And Allah's name is Hakim as well. A lot of his names are Hakim, the knowledge, the woman with knowledge. Did you know that if they didn't cure you, they never took a payment? This is very important. If they didn't cure the patient, they never took the payment. Once they cured you, then they charged you for their herbal medication. Subhanallah, say Subhanallah for that one. They took no payment. If they could not help you, they said Assalamu alaikum, or humbly, sorry, go somewhere else. We don't know what it is. But they never took a payment. What a world we live in where they take payment, and then the side effects of drugs. You can Google it now. How many millions die every year? Millions die every year. Books are written. The medical mafia. There are so many doctors writing books now. We should listen to those doctors. The truth is not easy to get hold of, but it's out there. It's on Amazon. You get it. You'll get the books. And I read a lot of books. But I can't read them all. But I have a collection, and I read as much as I can. There's books out there saying the drugs are now killing so many people. The West especially is the most ill. It's got the worst health in the world. America and Britain and in the World Health Organization it's the worst. 22nd in the scale, and Japan the first. Because West is known as a nation of pill poppers. Pill poppers. It's not Smarties and sweets. It's tablets. This is the worrying thing. This presentation was done by, on the slides, by Ababil Sher, a Pathan. He says he's Pathan and Chachi, and he studied neuro-linguistic language, and he's very years ahead of us. And I'm a nutritionist, although he wasn't a qualified nutritionist, but I want to commend him, and we do a dua for him and his family. He lost his members of family. He did this presentation with lots of knowledge. He travelled, went to America, they called him, and the Kangen machine and the water filtration was introduced to him. But it was all founded from Zamzam. The Japanese, with some of the highest level professors studied Zamzam. They wanted to know, why is this water curing us? Even we can't go, we have to be Muslim to go to Hajj Umrah. You have to have a license to go, you can't be non-Muslim to go. But they drank the water, it's gone all over the world, people got better. So many symptoms got better within a day, a week, and then the ultimate shifa is Allah. It's up to him. So they studied the Zamzam water, the Quranic water, and then they studied other waters. And the other water mentioned is Hunza Valley, Gilgit. People have lived 80, 70, 80, 100, 110. They've studied the people in 19th century. People all over the world went, and British have written books, and they said, what is it? They've got, their teeth have come back. People's teeth have come back, the second teeth have come back, no arthritis, no disease, the diseases of the world are known as degenerate diseases. And these are the famous ones, you hear them every day: diabetes, cancer, blood cholesterol, blood pressure, cancer, the big C, which we'll move on to that, very frightening, and stroke, obesity, big problem. 1 in 3 are obese in the Western world, in the American world. Frightening. Children are obese, children are dying of heart attack. Fast foods, plastic food they call it, junk food. You treat your body as a temple, the Quran and Hadith says. Treat it, respect. Keep it hungry. Fast every week. So good for you. Not just for Ramadan. It's not good enough. Fast. They call medical fast. They now say medical fast. We know it from the Quran and the Prophets. So it's fascinating. So this presentation, all due respect to him and Aaron Shah, my team, nutritionist Larry Brooks, a Jewish brother of ours who was a professor in nutrition. They put all this together. I was part of it, and all due respect, it's amazing. I've watched it 10 times. People have watched it first, second time. It's life changing. So here we go. This is the need for water. Now it starts with this amazing picture, the evolution of man, which we talked about. Now we don't believe that. We don't believe we came from monkeys, but people are now realizing we don't, because everything's interesting. Everything, there is an evolution, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but it's not this one. But this is a bit of humour, and humour is important too. It's also Quran and Sunnah. That's the modern man, or woman, or child. And you can see that's a very big fizzy drink. Or it could be alcoholic, or vodka, which is a big problem in the world. It's called intoxication of drinks.
Might be the spot.
Obesity in the UK, overweight or obese, 70% in women, just UK, 63%. That's really serious. That is serious. It's not 50%, it's very serious. And that means Muslims as well. Yeah? We've got a lot of problems in our people. And the Arabs, that's another world. Kuwait, that's another world. They eat McDonald's, and they're now suffering because they stopped cooking at home. Real food. Last 20 years, call it 25 years, it's tripled. That's just UK, little island. Reduced life expectancy, it's very serious. The moment you grow, you're struggling. I'm not here to offend anyone, because some people are underweight. So I've got brothers in my family that are diabetic, and they're lazy here, and I'm trying to take him to the gym. I love him to bits, but I massage him, get some massage every week, and it works. It's like an exercise. It's called a walk in the park massage. But some people are disabled, they can't move, they've got no legs. So you go massage him, or you teach your children, hey, do feet reflexology massage. Again, it's the ways of the Prophet. Do something. Get the blood circulating, get the limbs moving. Physiotherapy or self-physiotherapy. Children overweight, frightening. 5 years old, 1 in 4. Wow, 1 in 4. So family of 8. 2 people, two children. They don't live long. Because again, heart attack, the secret is blood flow. The most important thing is blood flow and water. Because water is agreed is 80-90% blood. You're 89% water. Everything made out of water, including your bones, but blood. Blood. Diabetes in UK, type 2, strongly associated with obesity, so it's connected. 2.5 million are diagnosed. These are now figures, these figures are, I'm sorry to say, 12 years old. Can you imagine now it's more? This is a 12-year-old presentation. I don't know where 12 years have gone. Ya Allah, you're the greatest. You're timeless, Allah. We're this time, life's going too fast. 1 in 3 is called the big C cancer. Look at the way we live. People are saying, I've sat with radiologist experts, and they're saying we live in a world and see day and night of radiation. Radiation is not natural. We live in a mobile radiation, laptops, Wi-Fi, all these in Bluetooth. People got headaches, cold headaches. I had Bluetooth for a bit, I got rid of it.
5G.
It's frightening. 3G, 4G. And we need it, we're using it, we can do good with it, can't we? Alexa, meetings, children, earthquake. But don't sleep with it. Don't go to bed with it. Go to bed with the Quran. Go to bed with the Ayatul Kursi. Go to bed with your focals. I'm practicing what I preach. I've tried it. I was into technology. I was working in a mobile shop for 30 years. The radiation. It goes in another room, close it, turn it on silent. People are using this as part of their, not just part of them. Kids are addicted, selfie world, this, that, TikTok, and it doesn't stop, does it? And rubbish, there's so much filth out there. In seconds, as adverts come, you can read in the Quran and something comes. A set of a swimsuit or a naked woman can come, or an advert, anything can come when you're reading the Quran. Algorithms, this is another world. Those people into IT, Zakir is into IT, how they work and target you. What you're feeding a missile, what your food likes, what books you read. Common cancer is very serious. And last week we discussed Professor Joseph Price and the chlorine fluoride. Remember, all the cancers caused by bleach should not be in our water. Water should be water. We discussed that. Bleach, the warnings of chlorine, bleach and fluoride. In 1900s, Hitler and American companies used it to control people's minds, makes you docile, submissive. The occipital bone and the occipital part of the brain, occipit, is an area, fluoride, small amounts, tiny fluoride amounts. And so sodium fluoride is a poison, because that's rat poison is sodium fluoride. It gives the rat and the mice, and you want to get rid of them, a heart attack. Sodium fluoride is a poison for humans. A rat and a mice is very similar, and a pig, to a circulatory system to a human being. In the Sharia, a pig valve is allowed in to save human life in a heart, but we don't eat it. But it's allowed in a valve to save the life. Isn't that interesting? But we're not allowed to eat it. But the pig valve is the most closest to a human being. Subhanallah. The most closest to a human being. The circulatory and the heart system of a pig. Fascinating. And it's halal because Allah says life is sacred. Isn't it? This is how interesting it is. So the women's cancers and then the men cancers. Yeah? Lung, prostate, colon, bladder. Yeah? Moves on. What causes cancer? Very good question. Yeah? £1 million question or $1 million question. Now this man won a Nobel Prize, and he was well before our time. Mind you, I was born in 1969. So God bless him. Allah is with those who do good. Allah knows his life. He's someone's son, and he was a knowledgeable alim. In Arabic, doctors are known as alims as well. Especially when you're useful to people, you're an alim. This alim, Dr. Otto Warburg, he discovered in his life, and he got a Nobel Prize. All his life he was studying. He says cancer, and it was not very common in those days, cancer. It's now, this 40, 56 years, it's very common. It was unknown hundreds of years ago. People didn't know what cancer was, they didn't get it. Wonder what they were eating. I believe they were eating good. They were eating good and drinking good water. And I've travelled the world, and people used to go to the mountains and hills to drink water. They weren't drinking tap water. I swear they weren't drinking tap water. Cancer thrives in an acidic body. That's why he got a Nobel Prize. That when someone gets cancer or your blood's getting acidic, you could be on the verge, God forgive, to get cancer or other diseases, diabetes and all these other diseases. That the blood is the answer. In Arabic, it's called dhamma, blood. Fascinating. See, this is what he said. His research says cannot survive in an alkaline blood state. A human alkaline is healthy, oxygen-rich environment. Fascinating. Where there's alkalinity in your blood, slightly alkaline, but not acidic, more oxygen as you breathe in, or go walks in the park, or you do cardiovascular or training, and you get out of the city. How many times did he say, get out of the city? Get out of the city, go out for walks. So that's very, very interesting that he won a Nobel Prize to this day. And so when I sat with my own sister who had cancer, there's a litmus test. It's a little small test, and everyone can do it. And not many people know about it. And it's a test. You either test your urine or your saliva. Saliva is easy, isn't it? I'm not around going testing urine, but it's easy. It's a litmus test, and you put it under your saliva into a tissue or a plate, and you just put this test. It's a litmus test. It tells you if you from your saliva or your urine, you know what your blood is. From your saliva and your urine, you know what your blood is. Is it alkaline or acidic? I tested so many people with cancer, and it came out acidic. They were orange, yellow. You know, there's a scale. Remember that scale we showed you? Just give me a moment.
Look, we test us all.
I really like audience participation. After this presentation, I'm going to do a free test and find out, we all want to know, are you acidic or alkaline, or how are you? And we're going to do this test, and it takes 60 seconds for everyone. And I've got loads of strips here, hundreds of strips, and there's, mashallah, enough for everyone, yeah? And these are little strips, and it's fascinating. Because when I saw it, I jumped to this, and I found out I was a bit acidic. Then I started alkaline water. I didn't have Zamzam in those days, the alkaline, I bought the filter, and I became alkaline. I became alkaline in 3 months. SubhanAllah. But those with cancer are acidic, always acidic. And I lost my very beautiful sister, who was like a second mother to me. She taught me science all my life. She was a teacher as well. She took so many children into boarding grammar schools, and I lost my sister. She had a brain tumour. It's a mystery how it all happened, but her blood. When I tested her when she did have cancer, she was good. She was alkaline. The scale shows alkaline. Yeah, it's dark green on this one. And when I tested her with cancer, she was acidic. And the brain tumour, it's another story, very complex. They removed it, but it wasn't benign. A benign tumour is a harmless tumour. This was cancer. And I lost her. We lost her in 7-8 months. They said 3 months, but we lost her another 8 months. Say subhanallah, guys.
Subhanallah.
Why? I gave her Zamzam every day. Gave her Zamzam every day. 3 months she had the most aggressive cancer. Only 18 people in the world have it. Very rare cancer, very aggressive. Nobody, doctors, all the doctors in the world in Leeds and America, we said all of it for it. Nobody could do anything. Allah knows best. But the Zamzam and the smoothies, we tried to alkalize her. What? They said another 4 weeks, 6 weeks. She lived another 9 months. Well, something must be working. Something delayed it. So that's the testimonial. That's my sister. I miss every day. She was a scientist. She was very intelligent, mashallah. Degree in science and teaching. So now we're on this scale. And last week we discussed and showed you the color drops, because for solution they use a color drop, and it's an ethanol alcoholic based, for the camera, color drops called pH test reagent. Yeah. So that tests if a water is acidic, alkaline, or neutral, and it can test food. Fascinating. So we know this from school, that water is neutral, and we know that acid, we've all played with acid, we've all had to learn acid, but we also know danger, and it's all in glass bottles, isn't it? It's not in a plastic bottle, is it? HCl acid. And if I put a HCl acid here, it looks like water. So unknown to us, what if someone drinks it, you're dead? You'll be dead. So sometimes when we watch the reports and sad stories and things are not happening now, they say don't put your battery acid, your dad or mum, in those days dad had a car, mum didn't have a car, didn't it? It's another world now. Your battery acid, you put it in the garage, you leave it in the garage, or you leave it, you don't put it in the kitchen. I know my neighbour, children drank the battery acid and they died. He'll never forgive himself, will he? Pakistani family, I won't mention the names. He left battery acid in his kitchen and it won't locked under the sink. His sulfuric acid is acid, it looks like water. It shouldn't be there. So the other thing is that it's serious. So God's given us knowledge now that these are tests, or litmus tests, they call it the litmus test. So you know that it's acid, oh, right, okay, label it acid, lock it up, keep it away. It's a poison, it's dead. So this is the beautiful pH scale. If I move on, I'll show you what's happening. The neutral is a neutral state, but when you drink neutral water, it's neutral. It's not doing you any good. Because we remember what we said, Dr. Warburg, and the world recognizes Dr. Warburg's studies because they've gone further now. Other people got Nobel Prize, but he's studying the same science that he scored. Alkaline state. We need, every single one of us, an alkaline state. Very, very interesting. Not an acidic state. Acidity causes all diseases and tiredness, fatigue. There's also symptoms. We're going to move on to that screen. So we know that these are acidic. Interesting, alcohol is acidic. Alcohol, that's another issue in the topic, isn't it? Fascinating, isn't it, that the Holy Quran says that it's good for you and bad for you, but the bad outweighs the good. So now I'm making it haram. And Allah didn't make it haram overnight. They were heavy drinkers. We know they were heavy drinkers at the time of the Arabs and the other worlds. And people have still got a big problem. Alcohol is the biggest problem to the Western world. Not just drink driving, just people, they banned alcohol. You go and study the film, there's big documentaries, there was a liquor, it's called liquor ban. And there was machine guns and mafia, they used to make liquor, they couldn't stop it, and the cops used to come and arrest you, and you were in jail, and there was mass murders over this alcohol that they were brewing illegally. Fascinating, that's another story, another world. Isn't it better to go by the Quran? Become a Muslim, and your problems will be solved. Look, everything leads to sickness on this side. So foods are alkaline and acidic, which we will go into in part 3. Alkalinity, interesting. Nice purple colour. we're not just looking at peripheral, just the superficial colours, but these are the colours, that this is what the solution does. So this is science explaining itself. So we move on. Health is alkalinity. You can take pictures if you want, no problem. And isn't it interesting that last Sunday, I asked Mashallah Sajid, who's one of my great colleagues, who's part of the team of Kangan and alkalinity. He gave me a fantastic answer that when we are born, a healthy baby, billions of babies are born, they say a baby is born every 4 seconds. Sorry, a baby is born every 4 minutes. Interesting, isn't it? So interesting. Because someone dies as well. Hence, let me just remind you about the pandemic. Remember, they're always telling you about deaths. And it goes you mad, too much death news is. That's every newspaper, all over the world, death, somebody died, COVID. You don't hear about it now, do you? Hey, Saj? They don't talk about COVID death anymore now, do they? And remember, they killed us and swarmed us and killed us and saturated us and blinded us with COVID deaths. But I said to people, what about how many people are born? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you want to have a good life? Al-Mizan. The Quran says it's balanced. Al-Mizan is the balance. You can't just talk about death. You've got to talk about life. You've got to have a hakika. You've got to have a wedding. You've got to have a good time too. You can't have a good time at the janaza and you can't have a bad time at someone's wedding. Isn't it? Kotol bhi te allowed hai. Bhi te tan pata lage. Kuch te allowed hai. As long as it's within Sharia. Isn't it? So, can you see the Al-Mizan, back to the Quran? Quran is everything. This is very important criteria. The Quran, Holy Quran is known as the criteria of the Quran. Fascinating. So when we're born, Saj, remember the blood test of a healthy baby is 7.3. Sadly, there are some women who are alcoholics. Their babies are alcoholic. Innocent babies born as alcoholic. How do they get? They have to alkalize that baby. So they use bicarbonate soda and alkaline water. Interesting, isn't it? Zamzam would be amazing in hospitals. Zamzam, I'm going to make a declaration to the world. Zamzam should be in every masjid and every hospital. They should have supplies of Zamzam. There's plenty of rich people out there and we can fund it. Zamzam. So hospitals have got money. They should be buying Zamzam. There should be emergency Zamzam there. And we aren't even going into the spirituality of the water. The spiritual, we're going into the science at the moment. What can I show you? What about the spirituality? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it that time for cure and healing. Wow, from heaven. Where's the pipeline? I was asking yesterday, where's the pipe? Where's the connection? Which heaven? What? 7th, 6th? Where is the connection? The world's orbiting and it's invisible and nobody can explain it. The science have been coming in. All the non-Muslim experts, scientists, some of the experts are non-Muslim atheists. They came in and the Saudi and the government, Islamic Sharia allowed them in and they said, we don't know where it's coming from. It's fascinating. It doesn't stop. A well that doesn't stop. There's many miracles in that. So there we are. We create acidity in the body every day. Yeah? So isn't that interesting? Allah's created us, the biomolecular structures. We are acidic. Isn't it interesting? Urine is acidic. And it's a poison. It's filthy, a drop. We want to wash. Defecation when we go to the toilet. Acidic. We've got to get it out. It's waste. It's a poison. What comes in has to go out. Exhaust of a car. Or smoke or carbon. Interesting, isn't it? And we are all carbon. Hydrogen, oxygen. So we move on. Can you see the foods? These are the foods that cause acidity. You think, wow, fish is healthy. But you know, within limits, it is healthy. But again, there's waste, isn't there? You can eat it. So look, nuts, honey, okay, it's good. Honey's still great. But there is some waste. But then we go to a level of worst. Can you see the worst, if I may? Red Bull. What a load of bull. What a load of bull, and I'm behaving myself. You know what I mean? Because I do adjectively like to swear sometimes. It's something else. I know a friend like a nephew to me. I won't mention him. He's in life support. He's had a stroke. He wouldn't stop drinking Red Bull. He was addicted to Red Bull. They said your kidneys are getting damaged. I know people who are creating this bodybuilding stuff. My own nephew ended up in hospital. You can't take this stuff. They're selling it. They don't care about who's using it. It's money making and they think they get fast results. These fast fix results are dangerous. You want to train and be fit, eat the foods of the Quran. Eat and listen to your mother. You know how wise our mothers are. They've been cooking for years. And if you look at people, they see home cooking. I'm not just saying roti salad. Yeah, there are people who are Irish and Scottish. I've lived with them. And there's Goras who convert to Islam. Some didn't. They eat porridge. It is such a best food in the world. It is a sunnah food, and it's also mentioned in the Quran. Oats, seeds. It's a brain food. It lowers your. It helps diabetics. The insulin pancreas.
Not taking
Slow
this.
starch. Gives you
taking
energy, takat, muscle building, bone building. It's like a yakhni, and yakhni is a bone broth. And that's very good for you. So again, so these are the worst. You see, alcohol, beer, all the vodka is dangerous. Ice cream, sugar. You know, unless it's an organic one, you can get an organic ice cream. People do make ice creams organic, no sugar, with fruit sugar. I think a bread, a white bread, and the milk and cornflakes, and all cereals. If you have a look at them, have you seen the list? Are they really? What's really in them? All these all sorts of fillers and chemicals and stuff. This is not too bad. All these things are good for you, but then you also need to drink water, don't you, to digest? You can't just eat foods and yeah. So this is fascinating. So not to frighten you, but that's a dangerous list, you see, and people are into this. They're addicted to this. You could add chips and fries and oily food there. It's missing, sorry. Ababil, forgot it. Oil fried foods, very acidic. Nearly there. And then it goes on, yeah. Fizzy drinks. And do you know what happened to the 7-Up? Who told me? Who saw the 7-Up litmus drop? What happened to when I put 7-Up and the drops in 7-Up? What colour did it go on the scale?
Orange.
What colour did it go on the scale? Anybody?
Orange.
Orange.
Orange, thanks, Yar. Yeah. And there's the chart.
Orange, all this orange.
You're welcome to have a look. If you could hold that to the
Changed to
cameraman. Slowly. Just take it to the cameraman. There's the chart. So the viewers can see. If it ever goes on a WhatsApp or a TikTok, I need someone who's expert in TikTok who could do captions and make this video, enhance it, innit? Because we know we're representing the Holy Quran, the word, the Kalam of the Creator. So we move on. And can you see? Chocolate, pizzas, fast food there. Then look at that. The fast food, wine. There's more alcohol in wine than in a beer. Wine has massive amounts of alcohol. Some people have had a bottle of wine, they're gone. And you can't be driving. You can't be drinking and driving.
Sweetness.
Sweetness, yeah, sweetness. A long story short, a brief sentence, aspartame. Aspartame is known as a neurotoxin. World renowned, the truthful sites will tell you that. Aspartame was made by the biggest owner of aspartame is very elitist, greedy, massive companies, commercial companies in America. Donald Rumsfeld, yeah, a Hawkeye and very nasty person. Now he's dead now, yeah. He's gone to meet his maker, yeah. He died, yeah. And I don't usually speak like that, but he's killed a lot of people. He's an executive, he's also killing people. He owned and still owns, and he's dead now, but his family and whatever, they all own big shares in aspartame. Aspartame is sweet, and it is a neurotoxic, it's chemical, it's a waste product, it's poisonous,
chewing gums.
and it's in lots of chewing gum, it's in all these drinks now. You do not
Sugar-free drinks.
Sugar-free drinks, and it says
It's
diet,
a
this
lot
diet, aspartame. The long story short, you can go on YouTube in your own time. Very important that when we studied biology, we studied vermin and insects. I studied insects, but I also studied cockroaches. Cockroaches are known as the insect creepy crawlies of like mice and rats. They're known as vermin. They're pests. You could be a king, palace, or a home. Once they get into your home, you've had it. I mean, a mess, and they get out of control. You need experts in, or you need poisons, and they don't always eat the poisons. They're that bright. So long story short, a cockroach will eat anything. So like a mice or a rat, yeah. Studied it in biology, and then we also found out that they got really tough nails, and they've got big eyes and clairs and night vision. They're amazing. And a cockroach, it will eat paper, cardboard, rot, rubbish, wires. But when aspartame was put there in front of a rat and a mice and a cockroach, these are the cleaners of the world, isn't it? Say subhanallah, fascinating. Allah's got a purpose for a slug as well, a slug. They'll avoid the aspartame. You put an aspartame there, a little few grades, and they'll go, it's quite funny, because I'm going to put my purse. They're going to say, what's this? That's poison. Oh, don't eat that. They'll tell everyone, don't eat that. The humans have put poison there for us. So, do they know better than us humans? Because they've got a very tiny, God knows, brain. But they're not stupid. They avoid aspartame, and humans, millions are drinking aspartame. Gallons are giving it to their mothers and parents and children. Aspartame is absolute rubbish. It is a poison. It is a neurotoxin. Eventually, it causes damage to the brain. and
Cancer as well,
neurocells
cancer.
and cancer. Thank you.
That's acidic,
Carcinogenic.
isn't
So
it?
it's carcinogenic. These foods can be carcinogenic as well. I know children who have got gut rot. That is your eating pipe. There's a windpipe and there's an esophagus. It's an eating pipe. Gut rot means that they've drunk so many. All they do is drink fizzy drinks. It won't happen in a day. Over a year, they got holes because of they're going to sleep. Woke up, fizzy drinks. I know families, I won't mention it, it's frightening. All they do is fizzy drinks. And they've got kidney problems, they're very ill children. And a tablet and a run to the doctor or go to hospital. That's not the answer. Health has to be avoided. You have to avoid bad things. They drink fizzy drinks and they don't drink water. But majority of people we've asked don't want to drink tap water because it's disgusting. When people drink tap water, and I've had it by accident, I got a bloated, I get stomachache within 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because bleach causes stomachache and fluoride and rubbish. We wrote to the Yorkshire Water Authority, and it's on camera now, and a teacher, not to mention his name, but I could do, he's a very well known teacher, I'll ask his permission. He's a teacher of maths, he's been a teacher for many years, he's a very good friend of mine too before he was a teacher. He wrote to the Yorkshire Water Authority, they said, what's in your water? And they sent a 6-page ingredients list. 6 pages. He fell flat on his ground saying, what's this? It's alright for toilet then, isn't it? Water, same system that's in your tap is in a toilet and a sewer system. So let it remain in the toilet. Let the water, tap water remain in the toilet and a shower, stand your water and pure, yeah, shower. But you don't drink it. So can you give it to the baby? Can you give it and make it into baby cream or milk or... Because it's got fluoric acid, and now they said fluoride has been proven to cause arthritis in babies and eye damage. So what's going on in this world? Eh? So can you see, Allah's not carry water, but the mans have made it a man-made tap water or a man control. And it's got their own agendas. Ask all these evil people who are very rich, do you know they all got ionizers and Kangen ionizers and filters, and alkaline jugs filters. I know, I've seen their houses. They all have filters for themselves. But feed the rubbish to the people. Because we're worthless to them. Because remember, control, power, Satanism, racism, Zionism. I can say Zionism. We know the whole world knows Zionism is nothing to do with. I've got Jews, Christian, Muslims. I've raised with them. They're lovely people. They all know that apartheid, racism, evil is inhuman. And humans have a right to live. Everyone has a right to live. Every child has a right to live. We're not interested in corrupt politics and liars. We're moving on fast now. I'll carry on. Other factors: age, stress, poor sleep. People are insomniac. I used to be one, and I'm still trying to recover and get better. But the alkaline water in my diet, alkaline foods, tremendously helps. Because I start my day with a fruit smoothie with zamzam, and obviously the Quran foods or a date, or make sure I have a fruit smoothie, fresh food, fruit smoothie. Sometimes people say, I don't have fruits in the house. Then make sure you buy a smoothie. You could get a smoothie for £3-4 from Asda, Morrison's, Tesco's. You can get a smoothie.
Smoothie maker.
Yeah,
Blender.
you can get a blender. It's the best, but it's also good to get a smoothie. Sometimes I'm only got an apple. I've got no banana. I don't have things sometimes. Don't have a shop. So you get a smoothie. Yeah, all right. I'm trying to. We might have to continue it, Mr. Janzeb. I've got my host. My host is, is excited, but I have to think of everyone. It's a sunnah, I have to think of everyone. But I don't think you're all tired. I'm doing most of the work. Yeah. But I think if we don't, we could continue part 2 next Sunday.
Yeah.
So what's happened is, because there is another 20 minutes. Yeah. So shall we do it for next Sunday? And the next, and the 20 minutes are going to water, alkaline, Zamzam, the qualities of Zamzam, and why the wells of the world, God made parts of the world like Hamza, loads. Parts, there's something in Pakistan, Morocco, Sidi Ali. I've been to Sidi Harazim, I've been there, so I'll show you pictures. And the water is a well water, it's alkaline. And it's so tasty. And people go there from all over Morocco when they're ill. And I was really ill, I drank the water. We took gallons of it and the well wouldn't stop. And it's named after a beautiful Sufi of Morocco called Sidi Harazim, Sidi Ali. Interesting, isn't it? The water's called Sidi Harazim, Sidi Ali, from a well. Isn't that interesting? And I did the test. I did the test with the drops and it was alkaline. Subhanallah. So, there are the good waters in the world. Is that okay? Yeah. We're about to finish this last screen. What are alkaline foods? So, with that, obviously every food and fruit has water. So, it's the alkaline qualities of the food. In just a minute, or they'll be back. So what are the alkaline foods? And here they are. Interesting that they're all in the Quran. They mentioned the Holy Quran as such. Hands up here. Fascinating, eh? They're all mentioned. Make me laugh with joy. Eh? Muhammad Nabi, Quran Sharif the US. मैं पढ़ा सी वो खाना सही है. Pomegranate, ऐसे pomegranate नहीं होना पाया. Pomegranate is so powerful and not cheap, not cheap. Yeah, look, all mentioned in the Quran. We're just coming up to alkaline foods, and then I'm going to, with your permission, is that right? I need some feedback.
How long's left?
Another 10 minutes.
No, it's not.
Let's just finish it off.
Another 10 minutes.
Let's
I'll go
commentary.
faster. I'll go faster now.
Forget the commentary, we can see the
I won't make a commentary now. I agree with you, Saj. You're right. I like that. I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed the commentary. I've shared my, I've hifzed the whole of this book. So I'll carry on, but I will now. I hope you find it really entertaining because I need feedback. I mean, not here to embarrass you or embarrass myself. I'm going to now go flick through it, and I'll just give you a chance to just have a quick look. So can you see how interesting it is? The Quran foods are there, and they're over there on that poster. Which my lovely brother Cameron will go there. What's missing is pomegranate. He missed it out. Pomegranate is so powerful. It's good for depression, brain, and it detoxes your blood after within a couple of hours. And if you can have, and it improves. It's got so many anthocyanins and so many names I can't even mention them all today. They've got so many powerful stuff in that people who've had a stroke, it prevents a stroke. The date, a juicy date, has been proven by the world. Listen to this. That it prevents a stroke. It's got stuff in a pomegranate and date that you won't get a stroke. So every day, if you have a little bit of pomegranate, or if you can have a date every day, a juicy one, and why not Ajwa? Medina, we get them. I go for it. I don't look at money. But if you go for a Palestinian date, that's so important too. The Majul juicy one. Now you ready? You're gonna laugh. I was on the internet 4 months ago, and I'm printing it out. It said Israel. I went Majul dates in Quran, and Israeli doctors came up. Respect. It was a nice article. It said Israeli doctors discover, and they didn't put Palestinian dates. They just put soft dates. They've studied it for years recently again themselves. Israeli scientists. They said it is the best thing. It's got stuff in to prevent a stroke in a human being. And pomegranate. And I just have to go to Israel and say, here you are. Here's a copy of the Quran. In Hebrew.
And dates are so
Subhanallah.
important that the Prophet
The Israelis have just come out with it. Now we knew about it before.
You've got no food at home.
Yeah, sorry, good point. What was that point? If
So the Prophet said the significance of dates, that basically the hadith that recall that if you don't have dates at home, you've got no food at home. It's good as having no food.
Isn't that profound? Isn't
Can
that
you
so?
imagine the meaning of it?
The meaning of it,
So basically you've got no real food at home.
isn't that amazing? So the dates are real food.
Yeah.
And do you know it's very interesting because the dates, people don't realize, the date is very interesting. It's not just a normal fruit. Did you know it contains high grade of protein? And when you're fasting, you need protein. You've starved and you're hungry. Yeah? Before you go for the pilau, chicken and meat and other stuff, you're digging on roti. The most important thing is to start with the date. Because it will contain
you
glucose.
fast with the date because it stabilizes your sugar levels within
Thank
2
you,
minutes.
Jazakallah. Fascinating, fantastic science. Anybody else? It stabilizes your sugar levels, your sugar's low, your blood sugar low, you're starving. Everything has to go to a simple sugar, except white sugar. White sugar is a poison. That is another white sugar is known as a medically frowned upon poison. White sugar. But did you know that date contains glucose and fruit sugar? Say subhanallah, guys. Thanks, Saj. Saj, you should be out here with me.
So I'm looking for a date.
We need to have a date with.
That's the day that we're having on our walk.
That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. And then another time we'll discuss the spirituality of the day. When the Prophet ﷺ stories of when he grows them, when he touches something, the Prophet ﷺ saliva. And he's touching his saliva when the child was ill, and his saliva goes into the water, and then the army was starving and the water wouldn't stop. Let's not forget that. That's another topic. It needs another 20-30 minutes. The Prophet's miracles. They're not in the Quran. They're his seerah. What he did. He was amazing. He was so humble. Allah Ta'ala barakat parnasi. So look at this, and it's on organic foods. Now this is very important. When you're acidic, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's biochemical nature means that how are you going to get rid of the acidity? The only way is that we have to excrete it. And it's a nice word, isn't it? Excretion. Yeah. So urine, perspiration, body odor. Yeah. Body odor, smell, BO, It's uric acid, urine. These are all because the food's been digested and acid has to be raw acidic. And acid ash is what you need. Now, the ash and acid has to be from good foods. For example, people have stopped eating cereal, bran, grass foods. We are also grass animals. We need to eat grass. I don't mean going around eating grass like the sheep and the...
Carnivores from the
Yeah,
grass.
exactly. Thank you. So, but green foods and chlorophyll has been proven in the last 20, 30, 40 years. And in ancient times, they were all having grass in their blender. Or lettuce. What's stopping you from having bomb lettuce? My sister who's a nutritionist, she has bomb lettuce every day, some bitter lettuce. To eat the vegetable, curry, handi or meat. You need it because that's what produces the ash and neutralizes the acid. There's so much acid in you and it's called acidosis or reflux. People have reflux. It's fascinating because people who have too much acid in their diet and have sugary foods, they're not eating the vegetables. I've asked them, do you eat vegetable food? They go, no. Do you drink water? No. What do you drink? Fizzy drinks. So do you understand? Every human, excuse me, Janze, because it distracts me, because I then think you're getting bored. Right, we're nearly finishing. Do you know Janze, my brother? Remind me? Hamid, lovely people. In the audience, there's some lovely people that come all the way from Halifax. We even got a political counsellor and he's an historian, Abid Mohammed Faisal. Lovely, I got your text, thank you. We're in touch and it's just unbelievable how this gives me so much inspiration to meet people. I started the lecture, everyone's unique. This cannot be done. I can't stand there without you, your energy. It's energy. Because this is all about learning from each other. And mashallah, he's a very good Australian and the other brother is very knowledgeable and he's got a great sense of humour, mashallah. And that is very important at these times. We have a good sense of humour. You have a fantastic sense of humour. Because you know, last Sunday you entertained, I went home very happy. Because it's pressure, I'm under pressure here to get it right. Right. Yeah, very good charcoal, very good for you, charcoal. There's a coconut charcoal that I eat 3 times a day, 3 times a week, sorry. A coconut charcoal. When I've got a stomach or too much mircha or red chili, I've been out and I can't. I'm very sensitive and I'm falling really ill. It's food poisoning in a way. It's a food poisoning. And chili is too much. But the most important is isbagol chilka. Isbagol chilka. And then again, honey. People don't realize a big 2 tablespoons of honey in milk. Milk is also carbon alkaline. It's not acidic. Organic milk, we'll talk about that later. Go for the extra organic. Go for extra. What's 50 pence for a pound? What's 5 pounds? Go for organic milk. The others is, forget it. That's bad for you. There's people who go on farms, keeping local. I'm going to try to get that one. We'll start supplying it. Comes to the door. Organic milk. That's another story I can show you. These are facts. People with arthritis, diabetes and cancer have started drinking milk directly from the goat and the cow. So the way the Prophet and the Quran intends, Quran and the Hadith intends, and I tell you the cancers went. Say subhanallah. Subhanallah. Those people's cancers have gone. After 4 weeks to 8 weeks. Every day, tasty, creamy milk with no pasteurization, no killing the friendly bacteria. This is serious stuff here. I'm not making it up, it's massive. We need to start drinking the right milk and giving our parents, old age parents, right milk. We'll get it, we'll supply it through Darul Irfan and Halifax. We'll set up Halifax network. So alkalizing minerals to neutralize the acid. Rather like when you have yogurt, after a chili, have yogurt lassi. Not the rubbish they sell out there for 23 pounds and this mango pulp rubbish. Get a real mango, put a real fruit in it. No one's stopping you from putting an apple banana in a lassi. And the lassi is very important. Again, Prophet loved this type of food, cucumber. One of the most chosen foods the Prophet ate every day. I've studied his diet. Is bread, dates with bread, dates porridge, and cucumber. And I've increased my cucumber 3 times a week. And it's great for the brain. It's tender because you garam ho janda insaan. The bimari hondi hai. And the cucumber is so powerful, alkalizing. Say subhanallah. It's alkalizing. So it's gonna destroy the acid in your blood. Cucumber. Prophet.
And the general theme is anything green is good for you anyway.
Thank you. Anything green good for you is right there, mashallah. So green stuff. And that, kids go, get on with it. Get it in your. If you don't want to eat it, smoothie palo. Celery is good for you. I hate it, but I'll drink it. But I don't like eating it. Celery is very good for you. So can you see the alkalizing minerals in your diet, the stomach, whatever you put you in is what's going to produce. It goes in there and destroys the acidity. And then we move on. Can you see? Alkalizing minerals 20%, acid ash 80%. You don't need a lot of minerals. So I'm saying get the greens in you. Get the ground fruits and veggies in you. It has to be every day. Because every day matters. You are what you eat. Every day matters. Tomorrow I may not be here. You may not be here. Hope that we are. But the diet. No use eating poison and saying, Ya Allah, dua, dua, dua. We've got to wake up. People are eating poison rubbish and you can't blame Allah, you blame the madness and dumbness you following people. Plastic rubbish, food, fried plastic fish, plastic chip, plastic pizzas. I can't eat pizza. For years I eat pizza because I'm used to eating homemade pizzas. Get a base, put your real cheese on organic. I make pizzas, you'll go crazy, you'll say open a shop. I ain't got time. Look what happens. Acidosis is the disease of our world century. Acidosis.
Can I just put
Yes.
some input?
Of course you can.
So, just for the brothers, one of the easiest ways to get
Do you wanna
minerals
know?
in your body
Brother.
is right. So, if you can have a spoon, teaspoon or tablespoon, it doesn't give you no blood pressure. You've got 84 discovered minerals.
That's
What that
very
means is, about 20 years ago, they knew it had about 81 or 82 minerals. Every 5 years, the science is catching up to find a new mineral, and it's got to 84 with pink salt. So we don't know how hundreds it's got in there. Science can't keep up with it because they have to discover a mineral and the name,
Thank
and
you,
then they
Saj.
find it's in pink salt.
Can I come in?
Of
And he's from Pakistan.
No,
Say Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. Pakistan, the best salt mines are in
He's in
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
And the best water is in Pakistan, outside Makkah Sharif. Pakistan, and which is the next slide, it's coming on, Gilgit. The best water in the world, the best water in the world. That the Kangen Japanese machine was, a 3,000 pound machine was built on Kangen, which I'm going to give you 3 Kangen today. But it's from Gilgit water, because Allah Ta'ala's Quranic, it's all natural. And He's right, Himalayan salt. Do you know pain? People's pains have gone with pink salt. Pains have gone. People got headaches and inflammation. Don't go for the paracetamol and ibuprofen and all that. It's not mentioned in the Quran and Hadith, is it? If you've got nothing else, and aspirin is interesting, that's another lecture. Sheikh Amrullah lectures on YouTube now, got videos. He's a medical nurse. Aspirin is made from the willow bark tree. The bark of a willow tree. Say about it. It's herbal. It's herbal. It's fascinating. Aspirin is most successful painkiller and blood thinner. So I do have an aspirin a couple of times in a week. Good for you. Symptoms associated with acidosis. Right, I'm going to go fast with this, Janzir, because we're nearly done. Can you see the symptoms early?
Can you realize that?
I can't realize it. But you,
Just read through quickly anyway.
I'll give you
bloating,
headache,
constipation.
constipation, panic attack, tiredness. These are early stages, yeah? I'm going to go on to further. But we've all got these, we've all got this. Acne, tiredness, I don't sleep well sometimes I don't eat. Dry, itchy skin, heartburn, acid reflux.
There's got all the problems on the list.
Sensitive chemical, dizziness, and poor circulation, joint pain, cramps, spasms. कमियां है ना कमियां में एक उनको पंजाबी कमियां हैं deficiencies yeah prone to infections कहीं बीमार हो जाता है something's wrong something wrong the doctor's not going to tell you this they haven't got time they've got patient have they got patient time have they got time do you see a doctor can you get a doctor I'm not attacking the NHS it used to be great we had the best NHS in the world
Number one.
It was very good. Yeah, I'm not here to attack anyone. They're great people. Paramedics still save lives. I love paramedics. My brothers and sisters and my friends English are paramedics. They save more lives than doctors. Paramedics. We need more Muslim paramedics, Christians, Jews, everyone together working with paramedics. We want more Hindu, Sikhs in paramedics. We love people. We're Muslim. We love the world. We want paramedics to save more lives than doctors. Emergency they are. They're there. They're bright. Paramedics saved my life. Subhanallah. So intermediate moves on. Can you see? Could be after about maybe a year, 5-6 months to a year. It's fairly tough. Diabetes is serious now. You're diagnosed now. How many people are undiagnosed?
Read through one, please.
Huh?
Diabetes,
It's hard work. I'm tired.
Asthma.
Ulcers, asthma, sinusitis, big problem. High cholesterol. Yeah, okay, then with blood tests. So it's important to go and give your blood test to the doctor. You know when you give your blood test, it's important. Candida, it's not good. It's a fungal infection. dangerous. Digestive disorders, there's a lot of IBS around, a lot of IBS, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of English people,
Bronchitis,
why
insomnia,
cocaine, IBS.
sensitivity,
But
depression,
their diet's not good
paralysis,
as well. Bronchitis, insomnia, sensitivity, depression, gout, serious acid. It's too much acid and it comes into the toe, big toe. A few friends of mine have got it. Quite a few people have got it now, gout. They're about 35, they've got really swellings of the bone. And it's because too much uric acid. It's called uric acid, and it goes and doesn't leave the bones. Alkaline water. Go alkaline. Get alkaline. Get alkaline in your diet. Start, And so eczema is very serious. I've got a nephew who's had the worst eczema in the world. He's written for blessing. But they said it was a vaccine, MMR, that caused it. Frightening, isn't it? And a vaccine, and his life's near death sometimes. A nephew of mine, so please make dua. Ya Allah. So migraine, again, some people suffer a lot of migraines. And then a lot of people say, oh, we didn't drink any water. And I've said, have you drunk water? I mean, I've had it sometimes, and there's no water in me. I've been running around with other people and I forgot to drink water myself. I sometimes don't drink water. I do stupid things sometimes, I'm a human. And I'm thinking, what? I didn't drink any water. Let's get some water down there. And clean water. And then the headache has gone. Yeah, so cold sores, impotence, inflammation, swelling, overweight, obesity. And look at the severe. That is severe. And hospitals, surgeries are full of that, people, patients of that. Yeah? Do you get? You take the pictures. And then it goes back to that chart that when we're born, some parts you want to maintain it. And then look what happens. Can you see? If your blood's this test, we're going to do a blood test, remember? Everyone's going to get free blood test today.
And the 7.3, which says healthy body, is exactly what your Zamzam water is.
Yeah.
7.3 reoccurring, just goes on and on.
Yeah, sorry to say, Zamzam's about 8.
No, the real
8.2.
7.33
Yeah,
is
there is a 7.33, but now the Zamzam that I've tested, and I've just read a massive article, it's coming on towards 8.
Yeah, because the Zamzam's no longer the Zamzam it is, but
Yeah.
they add additives into it as well there.
Yeah.
They're corrupting everything.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I love correcting it. I love correcting Zamzam. It
Yeah,
is
but they're
8.
corrupting it when they're shipping it out. What they're doing, why is it going through, why should the purest water have to go through a filterization system to be added?
I don't know about that.
Well, the corrupt people
I
out
didn't know about
there, you
that.
know that also, the corrupt
Yeah.
people.
But it is
Design
8.2.
list as well.
And Allah SWT
Yes,
permanently,
yes.
Allah knows best, He's made Zamzam 8.2 permanently. Subhanallah, it's alkaline. It's serious, it's alkaline. Why do you think you feel better? Why do you think you got more energy, you don't get tired? Because you're drinking alkaline water. And you're having alkaline dates. Dates there as well, Makkah, Medina dates. So, and then there's other stuff, factors. It's a lot more complicated than you think. It's not always so simple. But there is this reality of the water and the healing. People's pains go away because they're getting more alkaline, aren't they? And they're acidic when they come, so they get healthy when they go. People go to health farms, don't they?
Yeah.
What better health farms than Umrah? Makkah, Medina? What a better honeymoon? All my life I've had honeymoon, I've spent thousands,
It used to be like
I lost thousands in Dubai.
Yeah.
Lost thousands in Dubai. What did you go there for? It's full of nightclubs and I've seen more alcohol in Dubai than in Britain.
Yeah.
I'm going to expose Dubai yet, because they're not getting away with it. I know they won't let me back in. I have to grow a long beard or a disguise. But I'm going to expose them. I've got all the footage. I made a massive investigative job. They're disgusting. When I go to masjid, there's old people and there is young Pakistanis there. But the clubs, they're all there.
Allah, did you go?
Body cannot survive if it gets to that, and it's not. It's frightening. And we say rest in peace. Or we say Rahimullah. Yeah, it's a good presentation. And then they say the alkaline diet, and these are, I've got a few books, and one of the best-selling books I've bought, and I'll bring it next time, is called Alkalize or Die. Isn't that an amazing title? Written by Thomas Barudi. And I found out when I read the chapter when he starts in the name of Allah.
Subhanallah.
He's a Christian, he's our brother, and then he keeps saying everything's good but Allah. So remember God, and it says, remember God, 8 health laws from a Christian magazine. Muslims should be producing this with the Christians together. I used to work with the Christian Jews, Christian Muslims. I'm part of the Jews, Christian Muslim all my life. Look at this. It says belief in God, trust in God, rest, fresh air, temperance, sunlight, water, the right water, alkaline water, exercise, nutrition.
Subhanallah.
So what we'll do is we will continue part 3.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, make dua. Allah Ta'ala guide us. We thank Allah for the miracle of the Quran. Every verse unfolds into more modern answers from a book that is